Hello, I am Dr. Rachel Ford, one of the pediatricians here at Pediatric Associates at AnMed Health, and today we just want to give you a few tips for some safe ways to celebrate Halloween with your family this year. 2020 has definitely been an interesting year with the coronavirus pandemic, so we know it may change some of your plans and the decision that you make to keep your family safe. So we want to encourage you to think about your specific family and your situation with the risks and the benefits this year. That includes thinking of any elderly grandparents, immunocompromised family members, young infants in the family, or other medical situations that may change your decision. This year, the CDC has cautioned that traditional trick-or-treating is a little bit more of a high-risk activity this year that could possibly spread coronavirus more. So we do have 3 categories that you can consider when you're thinking of options for your family. There are some low-risk activities, some medium-risk activities, and some higher-risk activities. So great options in that low-risk category would be to stay at home with your family and do a pumpkin carving or pumpkin decorating night. You can still dress up in your costumes and have fun being creative with your family. Another option is to watch a spooky movie, wear your costumes, dress up, have some treats, and pick out your favorite Halloween movie at home with your family. A great option is to do a virtual costume contest where the kids can dress up in their costumes, and whether you use Zoom or FaceTime, something like that, to call family and friends and show off their costumes and let them have some fun. Another great way to blend an option that's still lower risk but feel like you're out in the neighborhood would be to do a Halloween scavenger hunt with your family. So the kids can wear their costumes, go out in the neighborhood, but instead of having that in-person interaction at each stop, you just think of things that you're on the hunt for during your scavenger hunt with your family. So some options in the medium risk category would be to what we're calling one-way trick-or-treating this year. So hopefully some families will have little goodie bags or pre-wrapped bags that are already ready. You can just grab those from the end of a driveway, the edge of the yard, to take out some of that interaction person to person is a great option. Other things would be to think about outdoor events in your area, whether you go to visit the pumpkin patch or the corn maze or an orchard in your area. Those are great options that are open air. You can safely distance if you need to outdoors and still feel like you're celebrating with family. Some of the higher risk activities this year would be what we call our traditional trick-or-treating or trunk or treat, where you have that in-person interaction at each stop. So if you choose that for your family this year, just a few tips to make sure you're still staying safe. We want you to have hand sanitizer where you can wash your hands frequently throughout the night if you need to, and think about at the crowded front porches where there's a big line and a big cluster of people, trying to stay back, keep your distance a little bit if you need to wait in line so that we're not really crowded. Another thing to caution you this year for masks, the CDC still recommends the cloth mask as the safest way to protect. We don't want you to double up with a cloth mask plus a Halloween costume mask, because that could be dangerous if you have 2 masks on for the children. So it's good to think about a cloth mask that goes with the color of their costume or a Halloween theme, something else to make sure that they're nice and protected. Another thing to think about with Halloween every year is to make sure you're being really safe with trick-or-treating. It gets pretty dark in some areas when you're trick-or-treating, so making sure that you're able to keep a close eye on the kids and watching really closely for traffic. There's a lot of traffic in some of the neighborhoods with trick-or-treating, so being really careful with safety and cars around the neighborhoods. Hopefully these are some great tips that'll help you think of a way to celebrate Halloween with your family in the safest way. Halloween is a great time of year. We know it's really joyful and happy time for kids. They get to be creative, they get to spend time with family and friends, and they get some pretty fun treats out of it as well. So it's a great year for us as guardians and caregivers to make sure that we are a great example for the kids, to show that we can be creative, we can be flexible, and have a positive spirit to deal with everything that 2020 has given us so far. So hopefully these are some great tips and you can think of something fun with your family. And happy Halloween from everybody here at AnMed Health.